What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Money Go, and now we are on your whole site. We don't want that hoe no more. Get that hoe right out the door, and I'm back with another banger reaction video. We record? Bet. You already know how I like to get straight to the point. And we finna react. Make sure I ain't stutter that time. We finna react to places you should never swim. Part 1. And I really wanted to see like what to never swim, because you never know where I'll be. You feel me? I'm gonna be traveling. I'm gonna be on the traveling shit. You feel me? So I gotta know.
Great for swimming, pools, the beach, even comically small inflatable pools. But in this video, I'm going to tell you about 20 places where you should absolutely, under no circumstances, ever swim. Why? Because I'm trying to keep you safe. Also, they're super weird and interesting. Amazing! Number 20. Lake Karachay. Lake Karachay, a lake in the southern Ural Mountains in central Russia, has been called the most polluted place
I'm pretty
on
sure
Earth.
I'm never going
During
to
the
Russia,
50s,
though.
when the Soviet Union didn't really care that much about being super safe with how they dealt with their
Why was
nuclear
somebody
waste,
swimming
some
there?
of it was just
You can
dumped
just
into this
tell,
lake.
like...
Some parts of the lake are so radiated that they would kill you in an hour if you stuck around. The Russian government has begun filling up the lake with concrete, so if you still want to go swim there even after hearing this, you better get there while you still have the chance. Number 19.
Why was
The
somebody wanna
Ganges
swim
River.
there?
If you ever find yourself in India looking for a place to swim, you better avoid the
I'm pretty
Ganges
sure,
River.
like,
The
I want to go
Ganges
to
has
India.
become so polluted
I
due
never
to
know, I
India's
might
rapid
end up there.
industrialization that over 600 kilometers of it, equivalent
But
to
I'm pretty sure, look,
372 miles, are
I'm pretty sure they got a sign that tell you not to go swim here, and a sign that tell you you can swim here. You feel me?
ecological dead zones where life cannot sustain itself. Try and not let that life be you. Human and industrial waste is pumped into the river at a disturbing rate. In places, the river has over 70 times the safe limit of toxic chemicals and 3,000 times the safe amount of fecal coliform. The Ganges is not only home to a ton of industrial pollution, but is also the final resting place for about 40,000 cremated bodies every year. So you'd essentially be swimming in a sort of sludge made partially out of dead people. Overall, research confirms this causes a greater rate of cancer and gastrointestinal disease among people living by the river. And worst of all, since the river is religiously sacred, people disregard
like, you can just look at it and
that
tell,
swimming in it cleanses themselves of past sins. Number 18.
You
The
just look at
Boiling
it.
Lake.
The Boiling Lake.
The Boiling Lake in
Bruh.
Dominica is probably what you
These
think it is
names
based
are
off the name.
hints,
A lake
like,
that is straight
why
up
would you go
boiling all the time.
swim in some
This is
boiling
because
water, bruh?
underneath the water is red hot magma. Another thing which,
Hot
like
magma?
boiling water, does not sound like it would be fun to touch. While the lake actually looks kind of appealing, like it would just be a nice hot spring. In reality, the water is roughly 90 degrees Celsius, or 190 degrees Fahrenheit.
Damn.
Number 17. Jacob's Well.
But you go ahead and
Jacob's
get
Well
cooked
in
for real.
Texas, unlike Boiling Lake,
Oh, that's in
sounds like it
Texas.
would be a
This
pretty
the
nice
US.
place to swim, actually. And for the most part, it is. The spot is known for its crystal clear
Oh,
water,
shit.
allowing you to look straight
That's
down and
deep
see
as
way
heck.
further than you would in any other lame lake. The dangerous part has to do with the spring series of underwater caves and tunnels that lay underneath. Inexperienced divers who don't fully understand the risk and specialty equipment needed for cave diving in places like this have underestimated the challenge of Jacob's Well at their own peril, and there have been 8 deaths at the site. Number
Damn,
16.
8 people
The
died.
Nile River. The Nile River is
Why would you go so
dangerous.
deep,
Really?
though?
Even though in the Prince of Egypt everyone
Like,
is just
people don't be
chilling in
using
there
their
and leaving
head.
babies
Hold
around?
on, what he say?
Yes, in
Which
reality,
river?
number 16. The
The
Nile River. The Nile River is dangerous. Really?
No shit.
Even though in the Prince of Egypt everyone is just chilling in there and leaving babies around? Yes, in reality the Nile is full of Nile crocodiles who use the clouded water to hide from
Oh,
their prey.
hell no,
Every
bruh.
year, hundreds of
If
people,
you see this
even though in
shit-
the Prince of Egypt
Hold
everyone
up.
is just chilling in there and leaving babies around? Yes, in reality the Nile is full of Nile crocodiles.
Imagine if you see this swimming in the river. What would you do? Bro, I would panic. I would feel like I'm finna die. Because I know they can swim quick, too. Bro, I don't know my how to drop.
Who use the
Comment
clouded
down
water
what
to
would you do
hide
if you
from
saw
their
an
prey.
alligator in the water.
Every year, hundreds of people are attacked by Nile crocodiles in sub-Saharan Africa. For reference,
thing.
there are only 16 shark attacks a year in the United States. So to avoid ending up like a wildebeest on the Discovery Channel, you should probably just stay on land. Number 15. Hanakapiai Beach.
Hanakapiai.
Hanakapiai Beach
Hanakapiai, I can't even
is
say that.
absolutely not where you want to go on your
Why
vacation.
would you make it a
may
beach if
look
you
like
can't
any
swim
other
in the
pristine
river?
Hawaiian
I mean,
beach where you
in
can
the
go
ocean.
surfing and wear a grass skirt and whatever, but this is a trap. Underneath, there are very strong riptides that have led to 80 confirmed deaths. The beach is so dangerous that there's even a sign with a death toll marked on it to scare potential swimmers away. Number 14.
Why would
Bubbly
you make
Creek.
it a beach then?
Bubbly Creek sounds like a pretty nice place. It reminds me of something that would be in the Lord of the Rings, but in the Shire, not Mordor. In reality, Bubbly Creek is the worst part of the Chicago River. The
Chicago
nearby Union
River.
Stockyard dumped blood, manure, urine,
Ugh.
and various body parts into the river for over 100 years. The bubbles are a result of the decomposing meat, since the river's other population has made sure that there's little life in the river to decompose things. One study found that the layer of animal remains at the bottom of the creek is 3 feet thick. Number 13. Semezin Hole. The
That's
Semezin
nasty.
Hole has been described as a black
That's
silty
horrible,
hole of
bro.
death. It is the deepest diving site in the Gulf of Thailand,
Hello,
with
what
a
you say?
depth of 208.
Bro, I don't even
Number
pay
13.
attention.
Semezin Hole.
Semezin Hole.
The
It
Semezin
sound
Hole
like
has been
it's
described as
a
a black
hole
silty hole of death.
that you sank
It is
in.
the deepest diving site in the Gulf
Exactly.
of Thailand, with a depth of 280 feet.
Damn.
If you really want to dive into this black silty hole of death, you're going to have to deal with strong currents, oil tankers passing through, poor visibility, and barracuda. The U.S. Navy also
Barracuda.
used to use the site
That's a
as an
big ass
ammunition
fish.
dump,
Can you
so
eat
there's
one?
always the possibility of bumping into the wrong thing and just blowing yourself up. Number 12. Eagle's Nest Sinkhole.
Eagle
If you
Nest.
were to
Where
stand
did he
next
get
to
his
Eagle's
name
Nest
from?
Sinkhole in Florida, you would
Eagle
probably
Nest
think that it was just a
Sinkhole.
pond. However, if you were to actually dive down, you would see the shaft that leads to underwater passages and rooms bigger than football fields. The deepest point is 310 feet below the surface. In 1999, it was actually closed due to 10 deaths. It reopened in 2003
Damn, 10
because some
deaths?
people just cannot stop themselves from diving into underwater caves. The caves are home to this now infamous and genuine
I don't see.
spooky
People
sign.
don't think, bro.
Number
like,
11.
you gotta
Kipu
be
Falls.
white doing that shit.
While I would like to be able to warn you about the specific dangers of Kipu Falls in Hawaii, it is actually not known what they are. Several people have drowned there, but nobody actually knows why. Witnesses reported people swimming perfectly normally and then suddenly panicking and going under. Their bodies weren't seen until they were pulled up from the bottom, dead. Some have blamed the mystic water spirit Mo'u. Others speculate that there's just a whirlpool of some kind. Number 10. The Amazon Basin. There are so many reasons you shouldn't go swimming in the Amazon
think it's
Basin.
a
You've got
whirlpool or
anacondas,
something.
which can stay underwater for 10 minutes. You've got red-bellied piranhas, which could tear
Oh,
you to
shit.
shreds. You've got electric eels, which can shock you with 600 volts, which, for reference, is 5 times
electric eels
stronger
is
than what you
real.
get from the standard US wall socket. While you've probably heard of those things, you may not have heard of kangaroo, which are tiny fish that swim up your urinal.
They come from
What
Atlantic.
more reason do you need to never set foot in this
I
water?
don't know
people?
what I just said.
Number
You gotta
9.
Be quiet.
Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria in Africa looks like what you would expect a lake to look like, but this is one of the most dangerous bodies of water on the planet, with an average of 5,000 deaths every
Damn,
year.
what the fuck?
Lake Victoria is so deadly because it has its own mini climate, which causes the weather to change from pleasant to severe in a very short amount of time.
Damn.
Local people have few options
How would you go
other
so
than to
far
try to
out
make a
then?
living fishing on the lake, and the
How would you go
unpredictable
so far
weather
out to
often
fish?
capsizes boats, leaving them with miles of storm between themselves and the shore. Number 8. Horseshoe Lake.
Horseshoe
It's
Lake.
not the water itself in Horseshoe Lake, California that makes it so dangerous, but you'd be able to tell that something was up way before you ever get to the shore because you notice that the lake is surrounded by 100 acres of dead trees. A series of earthquakes in 1989 and 1990 caused dangerous levels of carbon monoxide to escape from the Earth's surface and into the air. The area
Damn.
is actually, for the most part, safe. However, the levels of gas can fluctuate without warning, and there have been several asphyxiation fatalities. Number 7.
Retarded.
Rio Tinto. Rio Tinto in Spain at least looks as dangerous as it actually is. The water is blood red due to 5,000 years of mining pollution, so hopefully you'll be scared off before you even dip your toe in it. The river is extremely acidic, and in fact is such a strange environment that scientists study it because it is thought to be similar to the conditions on Jupiter's moon Europa. Number 6.
How the fuck they know
Gansbaai.
what's going on in Jupiter?
Gansbaai, South Africa didn't get the nickname Shark Alley for nothing. Obviously, you should not be swimming anywhere that is called Shark Alley unless you are a crazy person. They have so many sharks there, in fact, that it's become a tourist destination for the only semi-crazy activity of cage diving with the sharks. If you're looking for sharks, clearly this is the place to be. While the United States only has 0.2 shark attacks per every million people, South Africa has 0.15 per every million. Number 5. Hoover Dam. You definitely shouldn't go swimming at any dams. To begin with, swimming at places like the Hoover Dam is actually a jailable offense, so your swim could end in you getting arrested. But the more serious reason is that there are super strong currents because it isn't a normal body of water. It's a body of water that people made to make electricity. Does that sound like a safe place to swim to you? Just a few months ago, a Welsh tourist, Aaron Hughes, was arrested for swimming across the Hoover Dam. Authorities said he was the only person they knew of that survived such a swim, as others have been sucked into intakes. But there's other things you can get sucked into as well, like bellmouth spillways. Don't those just look like a fun ride? Number 4.
Damn.
The results strongly support that these beings are not closely related.
4. Citarum River. The Citarum River in Indonesia is one of, if not the most polluted river in the world.
You just said
this
the
is
other
largely
river.
because
I
5
forgot the
million
name of
people
it.
happen to live in its basin, and people tend to produce waste. Imagine what would happen to a river that ran through your room that you've been avoiding cleaning for the past year, for instance.
Bro, who will go
Nearby
in that,
textile
bro? Like,
factories
do
also
you use
consider
your
the river to be
head?
a great place to dump large quantities of toxic waste, leading the river to become filled with lead, mercury, arsenic, and other toxins. Number 3. Blue Lagoon. The Blue Lagoon in Buxton, Derbyshire has a pH level of 11.3, which probably doesn't mean anything to you unless you're a chemist. Well, the fact that bleach has a pH level of 12.6 should be a big warning sign. On top of being a
So it's
body
like
of water
bleach?
that's closer to being bleach than it is being something that would come out of a tap, it has an idyllic blue color from caustic chemicals in the surrounding stones. Despite signs warning people of the danger, people could not help themselves from taking a dip in its beautiful waters. It got so bad it had to be dyed black to try to discourage people from swimming in it. If you think about it, that's actually a pretty great idea that a lot of other places on this list could take a note from. The lagoon is also home to abandoned cars, dead animals, and human waste. So yeah, dyeing it black was a good decision. Number 2. Reunion Island. Reunion Island, a French territory in the Indian Ocean famed for its surfing, has recently become the shark attack capital of the world.
That's why they
Remember
call
back
it
when I said that
Reunion?
South Africa had lots of shark attacks because it had 0.15 attacks per million people? Well, Reunion Island has 8.28 attacks per million people. The island has seen a record number of 39 attacks, 19 of which were fatal. While no one exactly knows why the island has become such a hotspot for sharks, it has been speculated that it was due to the creation of a marine reef that attracted more fish, resulting in more food for the sharks. Before I reveal the most outrageous example in this list, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to Be Amazed.
Alright.
We upload amazing fact-filled videos every day, so don't miss
Did
out
you
on
say
learning some
number 1?
amazing new information. Also, hit that bell icon for notifications on more amazing fact-filled videos. Number 1. The Strid.
That's smart.
The
I'm gonna do
Strid
that.
in Yorkshire may just be the most picturesque place on this list, and the least threatening looking. It looks like it belongs on a postcard. Unfortunately, it has in reality claimed many lives. It reportedly has a 100% fatality rate for those who are unlucky enough to fall in.
Bro, who will
The
go in
Strid
there,
features
bro?
a brutal
Unless you
combination
fall
of vast
in, that's a
invisible
different
currents
story.
and underwater rocks for those currents to throw you at. Professor Carolyn Roberts, professor of environment at Gresham College, London, has stated that it kills because of its geomorphology, the form of the channel, which is influenced by the nature of the rocks over which it tumbles, and that vortices in the flow will trap bodies under the water close to the bed or the sides, whilst the turbulence will render someone unconscious very quickly. It's not a good place to play. Worst of all, because it looks so unthreatening, you can imagine someone carelessly attempting to jump the river and slipping into the water. Such a mistake is fatal, and easily made, given the
Damn,
slippery moss
that's some type of shit I
abundant
would
around
do.
the river's bordering rocks. So now you've been warned.
That's
Will
crazy.
you still take the risk?
Cause I love jumping over rivers. Like I like to explore the little river. You feel me? But now you know if you traveling, now you know places to never swim. It's money go. You feel me? And make sure y'all give me the 1K. We out.